Welcome. I'm going to wait for YouTube to gather me a little audience, and I want to share a few downloads with all of you, and then I want to share a little story about something that happened to me today. So as you do come on here, if you can click the thumbs up and tell me where you are tuning in from in the comments section, that will really help the algorithm, help the video. And just a quick mention of my other platforms. So Facebook is Andrea Lee, Leigh Cox. When you do a search for my name on Facebook, Andrea Lee Cox, make sure that it says cannot be found. And so you have to click on people and then do a search Andrea Lee, Leigh Cox on Facebook, Raw Chef Andrea on Instagram. And my sister YouTube channel on here is Andrea Cox TV. I'm also on TikTok. It's funny because I call TikTok something very inappropriate. I have fake names for all the social media platforms except YouTube. I like YouTube. But I'm also on TikTok, Andrea Lee, Leigh Cox. So just kind of learn my middle name because I've had to use it on several social media platforms. I am a bit of a whistleblower, so I have a tendency to, always have a social media account with my full name, Andrea Lee Cox. So I want to share with you guys something really cool that happened today. And I live in a really nice area. I'm not boasting, I'm just being honest. It's probably one of the wealthiest places in definitely in the state, but possibly even the country. It's kind of like the Rancho Santa Fe of California, only it's not in California. I used to live close to there as well. It's a very wealthy area, but on the corner of where I live, there is this rather ran down home, and there's always a donkey by itself in the yard. And where I live, it's near the Sonora Desert, Catalina foothills, very beautiful area. There is more wildlife in this small stretch, this small little area I live in, than there is in the Mediterranean. Someone told me that. I think she compared it to the Mediterranean. It was a woman that I met at a nail salon, and she seemed very knowledgeable. She's like, well, you have to understand that with the wildlife, this little area, there is more wildlife in this area than there is in the entire Mediterranean. I'm like, okay, thank you. And I love it here. I love the peace. I love that every home sits on at least an acre, so everybody minds their own business, but they're very helpful. And I honestly can say, I have never lived in an area outside of California where everyone was so kind. Everyone here is so incredibly kind. Tell me where you guys are tuning in from, please. Everyone here is no one's told me where they're tuning in from. That makes my heart feel sad. Everyone here is so nice. Like, people let you go in front of them in line. People are helpful. People help you get things in your car. I mean, on a bigger scale than most other places. Like, I really like this place a lot. Like, I cannot see myself leaving unless I get married. So I decide to, on the way to the gym, stop at this house and ask the guy about the donkey to express my concern. Because those of you who don't know, I'm a huge animal lover. I've been vegan almost 24 years. I love all animals. A significant part of every day of mine is like hashtagging under high kill shelters to get the animals saved and trying to find transports for animals. I literally have a separate cell phone to do that. I really love animals. I have not volunteered at a shelter in years because it's really hard on me. It's like emotionally very hard on me. I have a huge heart for animals. Animals and the elderly, for some reason. I also love kids, but for some reason, animals and the elderly, I don't know what it is with me. I have like severe attachment, complete empathetic passion for that. So real quick, let me just brief you. So the last place I lived in Las Vegas, the next door neighbors breeded. And I think breeding breeds to the problem. If you're a breeder watching me, just drop off right now because I don't want your energy on the channel. And that's a legit statement. I'm not here for likes or subscribers. I'm here to be a truth teller. So at the last place I lived, they bred huskies, and huskies are runners. And literally the first week I was there, a husky got loose. And they like spent 20 minutes trying to look. They were a really nice family. I actually really like the people. They lived next door. They were a Mexican-American family, really cool, really helpful. But their dogs got out all the time, and it used to piss me off because they needed to be shut down, actually, from breeding. And I remember finding one of their dogs in the parking lot of a park that was nearby and just being freaking pissed, and really gave them a piece of my mind. I actually think they might have even stopped breeding. I was probably a little too stern. So this time I learned the lesson. I decided to go knock on these people's door down the street just to ask, just to be, I'm concerned for the donkey because, there's a lot of wildlife here. There's bobcats, there's mountain lions, there are rattlesnakes, there are freaking tarantulas. I've had one in my bathroom. There are venomous frogs. There are definitely pack rats. Everything is here. There are bunny rabbits the size of a small human. I think they have a specific name. They look like a kangaroo. I don't know what they are, but they're cute as heck. There's tons of coyotes, and there are beautiful bucks. I mean, the wildlife, like every day, I see a different wild animal and I get to research what it is and what it's all about and the spiritual symbolism of it. I literally want to make an animal deck. I literally think I was put in this home to make an animal spirit oracle deck because I freaking am learning so much about the symbolism of animals. Like, this place is right up my alley. Okay. So I knock on the door, and just the cutest Mexican guy answered. And, I spoke in English because I never want to offend anyone. I'm always offending people without trying. So it's kind of a curse and somewhat of a blessing. And so I said, hello, I'm here, just with a question. I hope I don't offend you, but I'm concerned about the donkey. And he didn't speak English. And again, all the homes here are super nice homes. I mean, gorgeous. This one, is at the very end of the street, and it's a little, he's got a lot of stuff in the yard and stuff, so, but I no judgment, I mean, hey, if people are good people just because, they have a mess in their yard, it's no business of mine. So he didn't speak English. So from living in Mexico, every weekend for like 4 years, I am really good at learning second languages by listening. So I was like, okay, como estás, and then I was thinking, how do I say donkey in Mexican? But thank God someone must have said it, because I was just like, estoy, preocupada por el burro, or estoy, preocupada por el burro, and it just rolled off my tongue, which is like, I'm concerned about the donkey. So, ¿cómo estás? How are you today? And he said, muy bien. And then, I said, estoy, preocupada por el burro. And he understood me. And we ended up having this, and I learned something. I was wrong. I said, I'm concerned about the donkey, and then I'm just going to tell you what he said in English. But we had a whole 45-minute conversation in Spanish, and I understood every word, and he understood me. So I didn't realize I was so fluent in Spanish, and it's not the only other language I'm fluent in from never taking a course, just from being around other people. So I was kind of proud of myself, to be honest with you, but I have a capacity to read and listen and pick up things, kind of a erudite quality. So at any rate, so I had this 45-minute conversation with him in Spanish, and he explained to me that having a donkey on your farm is a way to actually protect your other animals. I was like, I didn't know that. I was like, but what about the mountain lion? What about the bobcat? What about the coyotes that run in packs? Won't they attack the donkey? And he said, no. A donkey actually keeps all the other animals, the chickens and stuff, safe. No wild animal will come on the property. So of course now I want a donkey or an alpaca or something like that. But I learned so much from this Spanish guy, and he invited me in, and I saw the pictures of his older kids, and like I had the best conversation in Spanish with someone I don't know. And I learned something. And I didn't go in there. I didn't knock on his door like a Nancy know-it-all, like I was, the rescue animal police or anything. I just said, I'm a huge animal lover. I think I said, how are you today? I said, ¿Cómo estás today? I told him, I said, I'm concerned about the donkey. And then I said, I'm a huge animal lover. And every day I drive by and say a prayer for it. I've just seen so many wild animals. And I'm concerned about, the safety of it. Sorry, you guys. One of my dogs has a little reverse sneeze going on. And so, he really eased my mind saying that. And he said the donkey's been there for a few years. The donkey's fine. And I realized that I learned something, that I was more fluent in Spanish than I thought I was, and that I'm not always right. And it was a very nice conversation. And I drove away feeling really good. I was like, okay, I feel so good. So I think the lesson in this is to just when you approach a situation, approach it with love, even though you may have some judgment, right? And then this leads me to I'm going to keep this short, you guys, under 10 minutes. We're already over 10 minutes because I ramble. It leads me to also the downloads I've been getting. So I feel like some of you have got a text message that you continuously edit over and over and over and over and over again. Could be an email, but I feel like it's in a notes section. Or it could be on social media. I don't know. But someone keeps editing this and they keep wanting to send it to someone expressing themselves, but they never do. So that needs to be sent, because whoever you want to send it to is about to be swept off their feet. And no matter how magical of a human you think you are, I don't care if you have a lock of this person's hair, it's dead. You can't do work on them anymore with the piece of hair you have. Nothing you do affects them. Your magician energy is not as strong on this person because they've cleansed themselves of you. And I think they did it in a loving way. I think they just felt they needed to separate their energy from you because, my doggies just came up and warmed to me. Thank you guys. Because it needed to be done. Because when nothing moves forward for a period of time, we have to make movement on our own. Even if we're not with our divine counterpart, we have to move forward with a life partner, because we can't spend all of our energy and time waiting on someone that is not taking action. So whoever has this message, and you guys, this could be to someone in your own house, right? Or it could be someone from a distance. I kind of got that it was someone at a distance. I feel like this is someone you've had contact with within the last, I would say, 3 to 5 years. One moment. Honey, come. Always when I do these. Come here. So, hang on, you guys. What do you think you're doing? Okay. So, got my dog on me like I'm a baby. So, like he's a baby. He's a baby. He's a baby. So I think whoever this is for is about to really get swept off their feet by someone who's very kind, very intelligent, probably a lot older than they are, who has the capabilities to sweep them off their feet and the experience to sweep them off their feet. And it's a good person. And they're probably going to form a soul bond with this person. I feel like the person, they've already started speaking to one another, but they've not been intimate or anything yet. And also, I feel like this person deserves love. This person deserves happiness. This person's a good person deep within their heart. And you know this. So if you are a person that holds like a wizard or a magician energy, you won't be able to intercept this person's love life anymore. Doesn't matter if you have a lock of their hair or whatever you think you're holding on to that keeps them stuck. They're not attached to you in that way anymore. However, whoever you are, if you do catch this, you are someone that's had a message that you have wanted to send and you haven't sent it, and you keep editing it or something, and you need to not edit it anymore. That's the message to you, but you also need to just send it. And also the negative thoughts you have of this person, I mean, their shadow side is a reflection of yours, so that's another thing. So that this conversation I had with the adorable, sweet, kind, loving Mexican gentleman about his donkey in Spanish today, it boosted my confidence because there was no language barrier, and I always considered myself to be horrible speaking Spanish, but apparently I'm pretty good because he understood every single word I said, and we spoke for an hour. So it really made me feel good about my brain, and I love developing. It's so amazing when you've spent your life and everyone focuses on the way you look, but you're like, that's like such a small portion of who you are. You're so like, I'm not gonna brag and be boastful, but I feel like I hold a level of emotional intelligence and spiritual evolvement that is light years ahead of my time. And this sounds so conceited, but I'm just going to say it. Even my a shaman friend I know from California said, you know, it's outer worldly. You're not from here. And I agree with him. And so I really felt good leaving that conversation. And I think the guy felt good. And I told him I was into raw food and veganism. He had like an ancient looking dehydrator. I was like, oh my God, you can make bread in that. So it was like such a positive thing. So I think the lesson in this is when you're judging someone, to kind of communicate with them clearly, crystal clear. Send that text, send that email, send that message, send the whatever. Say what you feel, don't alter it. Speak from your heart, come from love, and see what happens. Because this shocked the hell out of me. First of all, I was wrong in the way I thought. I was completely wrong. And second of all, I was secretly judging, which I tell others not to do. Hang on, I need to shut my pantry door. So it's not for you. Nope. You had Din Din. No more peanut butter treats. They're all gone. You had Din Din. Sweet taters. So I just think it's a lesson, and that's all I wanted to say, and I hope you guys have a good night. Also, listen to music symbolism. I've had a song come across my radar recently that was really relevant in my life around 2017, 18, and 19. It's an older song, and I can remember listening to it one night and just being so in my feelings and emotions. And I was literally knee deep in my awakening process. Like, the feelings were so raw. I was letting someone go. I was working through insecurity issues. I had I was working through money shit and all this stuff and reopening my heart. I was trying to rush the process. And because I'm a Pisces are loyal as anything and they hold on forever. And so I had heard this song. It was Africa by Toto. And then I started hearing it at like the nail salon and in stores. And when I would be grocery shopping, it would start playing all the time. And it was the weirdest thing that I had ever experienced in my life. The song literally became one of like 4 songs that were really meaningful at that time. And I was just listening to a Pisces reading, and the woman brought up the song. She's like, I'm hearing a song, and it's Hurry Boy, She's Waiting There for You. I was like, oh my God, this is the best reader ever. And it was shocking. It was shocking. And it definitely, I was listening to a Pisces reading, but it definitely wasn't for me. It was for someone else. A lot of times you can listen to a reading for your song and it's actually being spoken to your divine partner, not to you. So you have to always keep that in mind. Like if I want to know how I'm doing, I don't go and really listen to my sign. I usually listen to the person that I know I have a kindred partnership with, their sign, because I know I'm going to get what I'm going through. So at any rate, I know this is a lot to, soak in. Just let it happen. It'll make sense one day. Also listen to what people aren't saying. That's very important. Listen to what people are not saying. Vitally important. Anyway, those were my downloads. Also, I find that oftentimes things that I'm going through, you guys might go through. So I want to share something else. So I am definitely going to have to either pull in a man, a lover, a partner, an extremely butch roommate or something to survive here, because the wild animal thing has got me. I love it, but being an extremely feminine female who grew up in a house with all women, like I won't even let my dogs out at night. It's that, like, I get that scared because I don't want my animals to be attacked. So I'm definitely going to have to, come here, sweetie. I'm going to have to figure that element out. I've been doing much better though. I have been taking my trash cans down. I have not pulled up my recycling bin yet, and it was put out on Friday because I'm so paranoid that I'm going to greet some kind of wild animal along the way. So it's a fear, and I'm working through it every day. It's like, okay, what animal is going to be waiting for me tomorrow? But I do know I'm protected against one type of animal. I know, because it only shows up when I'm exiting really, really bad people out of my life. And the last time it showed up was when I was moving from California. And it's definitely in the Bible as like, not a good animal. And I definitely never see it unless someone's trying to mess with me and I'm getting rid of that force. But whoever this message is for, especially about the message that needs to be sent it. And I love you guys. I was on here way too long. I'll delete this in 24 hours. Be well.